So it should not be a news to anyone, but Namco finally released 20 minutes gameplay of the highly anticipated Elden Ring. And well, late maybe, but I would like to share my thoughts on what I've seen so far because 1, it is something that I am genuinely excited for, and 2, well, aspiring YouTuber here, so content baby. So welcome to the channel, your host over here, the Random Rookie. आशा करता हूँ सबका दिन अच्छा जा रहा हो, and let's jump right into the topic. So let me just start out by stating the obvious. It's just more Dark Souls. Not a bad thing. I would have definitely preferred to see more Sekiro and Bloodborne incorporated in it, but I still am very much eager to see how the Souls formula plays out in an open world. What are the things that will be added and what are the things that will be removed? Speaking about additions, jumping. The Souls game always lacked in traversal aspect, making even minor jumps very toilsome. I honestly hated the jumping in all of the Dark Souls. But now, after Sekiro, the jumping is finally in and traversal will be so much better now. At least I hope so. But more importantly, this will actually open up more options in platforming. Elden Ring surely has a few Zen Fortress lined up for us to tackle, and my belief is that jumping will add a lot more interesting set pieces in those situations. And apart from that, this will also add another layer to the combat. And if you know, I am a sucker for great combat. The showcase has already given us a glimpse of how the jumping will work in combat, and also they have mentioned how attacking enemies from above actually is more devastating to them. So I'm really eager to try it out firsthand and see how it will impact the combat encounters. I'm really excited. Now the combat in this game is one thing that I'm honestly in two minds with actually. Yes, I'm excited to see how it will be, as I've mentioned earlier, but at the same time I am worried as to how it will turn out. Sounds stupid, I believe, but here's the thing. Dark Souls style mechanics versus Sekiro Soulsborne Ryu. I really can't see how it'll pan out. The combat in this game will have so many entrailing stuff like combat arts, jumping, horseback combat, stealth, all of which we have seen a glimpse of in this showcase, and the combat will be multidimensional. I'm expecting to see a lot of depth in the combat system, and it will be once again enthralling to try out different stuff. I'm particularly looking forward to use magic in this game, to be frank. The spellcasting and the spells look so cool. Overall, all the animations look great, to be frank. Spellcasting, as I said, weapon arts, the old Dark Souls stuff like riposte, rolling, and also horse summoning and traversal animations, they all looked amazing. My eyes will be in for a treat. Everyone's will, I guess. But coming back to the topic I was in, with such a development in the player's combat arsenal, I wonder how From has chosen to balance it out against the enemies. FE is definitely there to limit the use of combat art. The enemies can also use skills, but I don't know. Conversely, it could be argued that it won't really have much of an effect. Like, Dark Souls 3 also had weapon arts, but it didn't really have that much of an impact on how it dealt with enemies. So the balance will be there, we could say that. But if that comes out to be true, it feels like a massive wasted opportunity to do something new and cool. I'm sorry I'm really unable to put it in proper words over here, as it's just my intuition speaking. I guess we'll find out when the game finally comes out and I get to try it hands-on. And of course, coming to the stealth element, I am so glad that it's there in this game. If you've watched my Dark Souls review, one of those 16 people, then you know that I like it when the games give options to deal with the same situations in different ways. Albeit, it was only about the combat in that video, but generally speaking, I like it when there are more options. The stealth in Elden Ring will have a massive impact on how a lot of players approach these situations. It'll have an impact on me, on how I approach these situations. Massive impact. I will definitely be initiating a lot of encounters with stealth, but after that, of course, it'll turn into top 10 1v army anime moments. But anyways, we'll see how it goes when the game finally comes out. Lastly, before moving on to something else, hitbox baby. Now coming to the world itself, it looked gorgeous. I was particularly blown away in two scenes. The view from the cliff that gave us an overarching view of the valley below, and during the sneaky bit through the forest with this gigantic tree. A lot of people may complain that the graphics need to be better, but I'm honestly very satisfied with how the game looks. Yeah, there can be some improvements here and there, mainly my eyes caught the trees, but looking at the whole picture, it is very beautiful. The trees and the grass waving in the wind, the lightings, the level of detail where very pleasing to watch. Apart from how it looks, the world seems like it will be filled with a lot of interesting things all over the place. I did spot wildlife which is supposed to be relevant to the crafting system that has been added. Then there was this part where some lightning arrows were dropping down and they attract lightning bolt. Enemy camps that are kind of classic in open world RPGs if I'm not mistaken, and most importantly, field bosses. We got to see 2 of them in the preview and I'm stoked to see how many I can find while running around the world. What I'm even more curious about is, like, are their spawns fixed or are there certain conditions to be met to face them in any part of the given area? If it's the latter, it will be so damn immersive and intriguing. And yeah, a map. Being an open world, From has added a map like they said before they would, and I'm so glad it's different from the likes of Witcher 3 and Assassin's Creed Origins, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember the map properly of that game, but yeah, it's different from Witcher 3, that's for certain, and I liked it. Man, the artwork of the map is, it looks so good. And there won't be any markers, it seems. I won't say I completely dislike the maps when they are done like that, like in Witcher 3, but I do kind of find them distracting. But that's a topic for another day. I like the fact that there are no preset markers on the Elden Ring map, and instead we are given custom markers to mark areas of relevance. This is something that I really liked in Genshin Impact. It makes the game more interactive and it increases the value of exploration. Lastly, the stats. For the most part, it looks like the same with few additions and removal, but it's the basic soul stats. What I'm really glad to see is the absence of a stat for equipment load. Or maybe it is one of those stats, I don't know, I hope not. Like, I don't mind if equipment load scales as a secondary stat with some other stats like strength or endurance, but I really hate it when it has specific stat for that purpose. Dark Souls 3 and 2, I'm looking at it, I hated that. Elden Ring will be great. I do have some concerns, like, will I get the same feeling as when I first played Sekiro and Dark Souls? Will the experience be a tad bit dampened by it being too similar to the Souls series? But regardless of that, I believe it will be an excellent game. The Souls formula is still far from its end of life, and I believe it'll have a completely new feeling to it once it is in an open world setting. Thank you for watching this little video, everyone. I hope you liked it, and if you did, then do give me a thumbs up on the down in the video, and of course share your thoughts on the comments. I'd like to hear them. Hope to see you next time, and let's wait till the day when we can finally start our adventure as the Tarnished. Take care, everyone.